So success event is US adults making a New Year's resolution to eat healthier. The proportion of that success event. The sample size is given in the problem. We observe 2,241 US adults. Out of those 2,241, 1,322 of them were or responded that they made or they are making a New Year's resolution to eat healthy.
I think it was supposed to be 650. That's for the first one.
Oh, that's for the first one? Okay. 650. So very few people want to eat healthy. Okay. So X is 650, N is 2,241. So what is the point estimate for P?
650 over 2,240.
650 divided by 2,241. It is a point estimate, hence the hat. Anytime you have an estimate, you have to put a hat. What is that value? You have to calculate it, Jack. What is that value?
0.2900.
Exactly.
0.290049.
Okay, so 0.29 is good enough. If P hat is 0.29, what is Q hat?
0.71.
0.71. How did you get that?
1 minus 0.29.
So we have P hat, we have Q hat. So we can go up here and find the margin of error. In order to find a confidence interval, what do we need? We need the margin of error. In order to find the margin of error, we need the standard error, which depends on P hat, Q hat, N. So we can find the standard error easily. What are we missing? That's of course missing. To find that, what do we need?
Confidence.
Confidence, but not the interval. Confidence
Values.
starts with L, ends with L. It's a palindrome.
Confidence level.
Okay. So confidence level in this case is 0.95. If C is 0.95, what is alpha? If alpha is 0.05, what is alpha over 2?
0.02.
So all we need is the right critical value. So the right or the positive critical value is that's 1 minus alpha over 2. So in this case, it would be inverse norm 1 minus alpha over 2 is 0.025. Jasmine,
How did you get 0.95?
it's given in the problem.
What was it?
95% confidence interval. It's what they want. So 1 minus 0.025. 1.95. So approximately the critical value is 1.96. So we've got the critical value. Now we just have to find the margin of error. Which would be the product of that times the formula for standard error. You just have to plug in P hat, Q hat, N to find that number. So go ahead, use the formula and tell me what the margin of error is. So we have the critical value already, 1.96. I rounded it to 2 decimal places. The exact value is 1.9599.
Yeah.
And the standard error square root of p hat times q hat divided by n. What is the value of p hat? 0.29. Q hat 0.71 divided by n. N is 2,241. Put that all in, what do you get? Do you take the square root?
Yeah, it should be 0.096.
For the
No.
wide rounded.
For the
0.0188.
0.00.
No, we're talking about just the.
Oh, just that?
Yeah.
Oh.
0.096
Yeah.
after the square root.
After the square
Okay,
root.
just to be sure. Okay, so I'm asking that because one of the common mistakes would be forgetting to do the square root. The second mistake is not putting this 2,241 inside the parentheses and typing it outside the square root, getting an answer in the order of 200 or 250, and you get the wrong interval. This is an easy way to check your answer. When you find the margin of error, it cannot be some large value. It has to be a value which, when you add or subtract, gives you a proportion. So oftentimes, margin of error would end up being 0.01, 0.1, 0.2. That's it. If you get something like 10 here, you made a mistake. Good? Easier way to check. So 1.96 times 0.0096, which is 0.187. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. So we now have the margin of error. We have p hat. So all we have to do is find the interval. As always, we add and subtract the margin of error from the sample proportion. So p hat is 0.29 plus 0.018, and what do we get?
0.272.
272, makes sense. 72 or 8?
271.
7. Yeah. So the interval, the 95% confidence interval for the proportion of US adults who make a resolution, US resolution, to eat healthier is likely to fall between 27.2% and 30.8% if you kept getting different samples. It will fall in this interval 95% of the time. That said, if you have a town or a city somewhere in Florida, and suppose the mayor made a claim in our city based on our sample, 85% of our city is planning to make a New Year's resolution to eat healthy. Would you believe the mayor? Why not? If this is true, it could only be between 27.2 and 0.308, 30.8% for any other sample. And we are 95% certain or confident that if you collect a different sample and find its proportion, it will lie between those two values. So getting anything past 30.8% unusual, and if in contrast, if someone said, oh, only 5% of the population in the United States would ever make a New Year's resolution to eat healthier, would you believe it or not?
Yes.
Only 5%. Why, Tyler?
That seems reasonable.
Where are you getting this reasonable thing from?
About 5% of my family makes the New Year's resolution.
See, you can't make stuff up based on what your family thinks. We've got to base it on the sample. So we did all of that based on the information that is provided. Is 5% reasonable? When I say only about 5% of US adults would make a New Year's resolution to eat healthier.
It's
Why not?
not supported. by- It's not in the interval, like.
Thank you. It is not in the interval. 5% is outside. So do we follow